Well, we're in the warehouse again today, moving through the week. Got a couple pallets packed up that need to ship out, but we also got our shipment in of our fish oil and our salmon oil. And that's the 100% Alaskan salmon oil and the fish oil. We got a pallet of that in for anybody out there that's interested in that. A little nicer day today, but just getting some things done. Moving around here. I am going to do one thing today. I'm going to do a full synopsis of all of our cable products, the snares specifically. Kind of like what I did with the baits and lures, just to kind of answer a lot of those questions. We're going to go over our whole snare assortment, whether it be rabbit or coyote or whatever, but that'll help you get out there and catch some critters. But I got them all set up over here, ready to go. We're going to show that, and then this is all that's left. That's our snares and cables that are on special. That's it. There's only that many left, which I was able to all marry them down to a box or so of each. But we've got the snares and the cable products, and we're going to go over a full detailed list on that. But moving forward, we're getting excited. We appreciate the business. We've got all the orders out today for everybody that ordered up to about 3 o'clock. And I've been here. I don't have any workers this week. There are ones in Vegas. The other one's dealing with some stuff with their kids, so I'm pretty much on my own, but it was pretty cool. I'm glad we got that in. We were running out of the salmon oil, and we'll be able to get more of that packaged up and get going. I'm starting to get an order in here. We've got stuff stacked up, and I still got a few pallets down there I need to find a spot for. I think I'm going to marry them together, maybe marry a couple of those pallets in the middle together and be able to create a semblance of order before the fall gets here. Because once the fall gets here, we're out in the field, we're trapping. There's basically, we want to just at that point take care of everybody that needs their stuff so they can get out in the field. But ultimately, as I said, I appreciate the support, and we're going to do a full synopsis on the North American Trapper Dakota Series snare and cable products. I want to take some time here, show you our selection of snares and cable products and the parts and everything that goes into getting you out into the field, catching some of these critters. The first things I'm going to start off with is our pride and joy. It's our Easy Set snares. This is the Easy Set Rabbit. We also have the Raccoon and the Coyote. And the Rabbit is put on a small Easy Set wire. It's a one-piece unit. Basically, it comes in the packages all ready to go. It's called the Yard Guard. With these packages, the reason they're retail package, these are on the shelves in all Scheels. So if you live in the Midwest or the West, and even into the South, where Scheels has a store, these are on the shelves, and you can go in and support them as well as supporting us if you need to get some of these items. But we have the Easy Yard Guards, the Easy Rabbits, the full half dozen packages. We also have the Easy Raccoon, the Easy Coyote, and the Rabbit snares as well, along with our baits and lures. But this is the Easy Rabbit. If you have a garden out there, you're having some problems with squirrels, rabbits that are getting on your deck or under your deck or eating in your garden, doing anything, these are perfect. They're a one-piece unit, and they're set up to where the loop is exactly where it needs to be, and that's part of the unit. Now, what's really nice about these is you can set them with a nail on a board. You can set them with a branch or a log or whatever by using this Easy Set wire. Now, the Easy Yard Guard that we do sell does come with directions on how to do that for the squirrel and the rabbit. But let's say you have a rabbit or a squirrel that's you know, the rabbits in the garden or the squirrels getting up on the porch chewing and causing havoc, you can just take that out of the bag, get that loop set. Now that loop gets stopped there by the nut, and that's the exact loop you want for a rabbit. So you just pull the thing back, and if you wanted to put it where the little rabbit trail is, you can use a stick, a stake, anything that's going to stabilize. And if that trail is right here, you can wrap that around however you want to do it. You can wrap that around your stabilizer right there. And then once you get that wrapped around your stabilizer, you can then lower this or raise it to where you want it in the trail. And you're basically going to want it about 3 or 4 inches off. What you can do with a rabbit also is just take a stick, 2, 3, 4 inches, put that in the ground right there, and then that's going to use a chin lift, and they're going to want to jump through that. Also, when the rabbit hits this, they'll feel that once they put their ears back and go to jump through it, they'll feel that touch their neck or their ear or whatever, and they, boom, they shoot through it. And then that clamps them down, and these shut a rabbit down really, really quick. It's just a fantastic piece of equipment, but once you get that tied off, if you're needing to handle this in your garden or around your house, just put that little stick right here, 2, 3 inches up. That's a little chin lift. They jump through it, and you catch them, and they're there. Not only is that something that's going to help you protect your food source on your own property, that's going to also give you a food source. You can actually take the rabbit and prepare it. So that is the Easy Yard Guard or Easy Rabbit. Now with that, you can see you can re-straighten that out. If you put that in a place and it doesn't catch something, you can just re-straighten that out, move it to a different location, get your loop, and re-wrap it around. But that's a fantastic piece of equipment. And the Easy Raccoon and the Easy Coyote are the same exact premise. The Easy Raccoon is 3/32 cable. You're going to get a low pro lock and a adjustable deer stop. You can put that if you have regulations in your state. You can also crimp that down wherever you need it. But the same premise, it's set up to where the Raccoon loop is. The wire, going to be able to wrap it around a fence post, a tree, a stake, any type of system that you want, and that will go anywhere you need it to go by bending the wire and putting it in place. And it's just a fantastic piece of equipment that'll handle a lot of problems for you ranchers, farmers, homeowners, deer hunters. If you wanted to use those on the trails that they're coming in to eat your deer feed, find your place, stake them in the ground properly, tie them off, and you're good to go. Now this is the Coyote, same premise. This comes with the mini cam lock though, the 3/32 mini cam. So we just bring that out and you automatically have a Coyote loop right there. And you're gonna wanna be about 7, 8 inches up off the ground for a Coyote loop. That's a perfect loop for a Coyote. It does have the adjustable deer stop, the floating deer stop, but once you adjust this, tie this off to a fence post, a stake, a tree, wherever, just make sure you can wrap it around. That's perfect. Coyote's coming by, and they're gonna get caught right there. But the Easy Rabbit, the Easy Raccoon, and the Easy Coyote are all a fantastic item. It's a one-piece unit. You take them out of the package, whether it's the Raccoon, the Coyote, the Rabbit, the Easy Rabbit in the 6-pack, you take them out of the packages, and you are going to be able to put them out and set them that night. So if you have any questions on those, we'll be more than happy to get you started in the right direction. But they are just a fantastic piece of equipment that makes it totally easy, hence easy, totally easy when you're out there in the field. You don't need any other equipment. You're using the natural habits of that animal to actually move through them, whether it's on a trail, under a hole under your garage if you're going after the rabbit or wherever they're staying. It's just a good piece of equipment that really anybody could out there use, and it doesn't have to necessarily be against a problem animal or whatever. This can be a way to gather a food source. You can use these easy raccoons, these easy rabbits. You can use them for squirrels. You can use them for rabbits. You can use them for the raccoon. You can use them for a lot of different animals that actually will provide a good food source for you as well. So that's our easy units, and we'll move them out of the way and move on to some of our others.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
Now also, we offer a regular rabbit snare, and the regular rabbit snare is pretty much the same setup as far as the locking mechanism. The low pro is the lock that's used. It's a 3/64 inch cable, so the rabbits are gonna very easily move through it. But once we get one of these off of here, we'll show you how that setup is. And it's pretty much, as I said, the same premise, but you will have to have another way to stake this down. Now this rabbit snare, as I said, comes with a low pro lock, 3/64 cable. These are preloaded. You can see the nice full circle that's there. They're preloaded. They do have a poly collar, which is going to allow you to attach that to a snare support. And once you get that snare support in there, you can then lower your snare support to wherever you want it. Basically right there, you put a little chin lift, rabbit jumps through, and you got him. And these are a fantastic piece of equipment that does come with 11 gauge end swivel as well, that you'll be able to attach to your stake that's going in the ground, or a cable extension, or whatever you're fastening it to. But these are our rabbit snares, and they're just a fantastic piece of equipment that's going to work for you when you have an issue with rabbits and smaller mammals. It's something that will help you, as I said earlier, garner a food source, but also control a lot of those problems that you have around a home, homestead, or things of that nature. If you're trying to grow a garden, I know that these will be worth their weight in gold as far as keeping you fed with all the vegetables that you're trying to have in your garden. But the rabbit snare is comes in a dozen, and the packages, as you can see, are right there, and make sure you look those up if you have a need for those. Now moving on to our bigger snares, we're going to start with our versatile snare. The versatile snare is, hence the name, versatile. It's the most usable snare that we offer. It's going to be legal in the most areas in the country. It's got a few features that we'll show you here. It's got an adjustable deer stop, so whatever your regulation is in your state, you'll be able to conform to that by adjusting the deer stop, crimp that down where it needs to be. This also comes with a low pro lock on 3/32 cable, and it's going to be able to basically be set wherever loop size you want. You want a coyote loop, or if you want to bring it down to a raccoon size loop, maybe bring it down to a smaller bobcat size or a fox size. But when that animal hits it, boom, they're all preloaded as always, and they are going to come with a poly collar that's going to allow you to put that on a snare support, and a 9 gauge end swivel, heavy duty 9 gauge end swivel. But these are our most versatile snare, hence our versatile, and it'll also be our, what we call our territory snare on our website. But if you have a need for any snaring issues or cabling products out there in the field, these versatile are going to work for you. and we have more specific ones that we're going to get into as far as species specific, but an overall good snare that's going to work for you for a lot of different species is going to be this versatile with 3/32 low pro lock, 3/32 cable, adjustable floating deer stop, 9-gauge end swivel poly collar, preloaded for you to be successful when you're out in the field. The next one we'll move on to is our basic cable restraint. This cable restraint is made for the specifications for Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. That's basically the same in those two states when it comes to what's legal. And anywhere else that you have specifications that you need to adhere to, the cable restraints will work for you. It comes with an ADC washer lock. It's got a loop stop. It's got a attached fixed deer stop, which makes it legal, as I said, in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. But that's what you're going to have when you're out in the field. As you can see, it's almost a perfect circle, a little oval to it, but when that is set into there and you have a poly collar that's going to hold it up with your snare support, and animal hits it and they just fly down. And it's got the 9-gauge end swivel to wrap off to your stake or whatever system you're using to hold the critter there. But this is for anybody trapping in Pennsylvania or Wisconsin. This is fully 100% legal in both of those states. And if you're looking to do some cable restraining, this is exactly what you want and what you need. You got the, as I said, the ADC washer lock, the 285J breakaway device, where that device is actually where if something gets in and puts more than 285 pounds pressure, this will bend out and the animal will get out. So if you do catch a deer and he yanks and pulls, they'll pull out of that. That's also why the deer stop is there. So if you get them by the leg, they can pull up out. But this is legal in Pennsylvania. Loop stop, you got a perfect loop for your coyote. I wouldn't go that far for fox. I'd make the fox about right there, about a 7-8 inch loop. Bobcat in the same general region as well. But as anybody watched the last probably 5 or 6 years of the show, my father is pretty much a master at using these cables. And if you're looking for a good education on that, I'd highly recommend you go back and find one of the clips that we have or one of the shows that we have with my father, because he really just shows it to a T how these can be used, and you can use them to be very successful. But if you're looking for something in Pennsylvania or Wisconsin, we've got you covered with our Dakota Series cable restraint. We'll move on to another cable restraint, which is the Michigan cable restraint. Now, the Michigan cable restraint has more specifications that are needed to be legal. You need to have a snare extension on this built in with an inline swivel, and you can see that that's right there. We got an inline swivel plus another end swivel. These are both 9-gauge, but these are going to allow that animal some more range of motion. It also comes with the fixed deer stop, 4.5 inches. It's got the ADC washer lock. It's got the 285 breakaway, and it's just a fantastic piece of equipment. You get that set, same type of thing. You can see the perfect circle right there. Animal comes in and he pops it and he's waiting for you there the next morning. So if you're doing any cable restraint, I always want to say snaring. It is snaring, but it's called a cable restraint. If you're doing any cable restraining in Michigan, this is fully legal for you and set up to the state's specifications. You can use these, and I guarantee you they're going to work for you and give you an opportunity to catch a lot of animals, especially in the wintertime. There's nothing better, and I mention it once in a while when it comes to the winter time. Use that snow to your advantage. Anybody that lives where there's snow, go out after a snow 3 or 4 days later. The animals are going to show you where they're running. They're going to show you everything that you need. That snow is nothing but a blanket of information, and you'll see their trails, and you're going to be able to find many areas that allow you to go out and do this, because it's going to show you where they're running. And you go out, you hang a few of these, it gets you out in the wintertime, it extends your hunting season. But all in all, you need good equipment, and as you can see, this is all that's needed. This is preloaded. Every one of our snares is preloaded to where you don't have to worry about it firing. It's preloaded, they're gonna fire faster, and we're using fantastic Korean cable, which is gonna allow that to fire fast too. Moving on, this is our mini torque snare, and this is a device that is gonna shut that animal down, and it's gonna shut them down quick. This is on 5/64 cable. It comes with a mini cam, and you can see this with the mini torque spring right there. Now what that mini torque does, okay, is when that animal gets caught, you have this set and you got the loop and the animal gets in there. When they pull down, that mini torque spring puts pressure. It shuts that animal down really quick, very humane, very efficient. As I said, this is a 3/32 mini cam. This is our aggressive mini cam lock though. It's got the teeth on it, so when they go down, it does not come back up, and that spring puts the pressure and it shuts them down. With this mini torque snare, you got the 5/64 cable, the mini torque spring, the 5/64 aggressive lock with the teeth. It's got the poly collar and the 9-gauge and swivel, but just a fantastic device that's going to shut those animals down if you can get it on a trail that they're walking on. It's a really good snare. As I've said in the past, make sure you check all of your local and state game regulations when it comes to using any snare or cable restraint. Make sure you're doing what is required by law. It's our responsibility to do that, and also our responsibility to the animal as well. So make sure that you check your local and state regulations and choose your device from there. Moving forward, we'll move down here. This is the same type of premise as the mini torque spring, but this is a 50-pound compression spring, which acts the same way as the mini torque spring when it comes to shutting down the animal. You'll see once I get them untangled here, you have the same 5/64 cable. It's going to have the 9-gauge end swivel, the poly collar, the 5/64 aggressive cam lock, and this is the compression spring. That acts the same way as the mini torque. You get it, animal come through it as they crank down. The teeth on that lock will not let that go up, and the harder it pulls, the more that spring comes down and puts the pressure, and it shuts the animal down quick and efficiently and very humanely in that as well. As you can see, preloaded, put it in a trail. You're going to use the poly collar to attach it to your snare support, move that to where you want it, and that animal comes through and it's going to get them. These are just a great device that you can put a lot of these out. As I said a few minutes ago, if you live where there's snow, it's a big advantage, especially after Christmas when you get those snows on the ground and there's not a lot of people out in the woods. You got the woods basically all to yourself. Learned that from my father. He's like, yeah. He's like, nobody's out here. Deer season's over. And we'll go out and find some fox tracks or some coyote tracks. And you can put a lot of these in the ground quickly. And it's just a fantastic device. As I said on the last one, with the mini torque and the compression here, they are a quick, efficient device that are going to work for you in shutting those animals down. These are perfect for you Western ranchers and farmers where you have a 3-day check as well. You can put them in and know that that animal is going to be there when you come back. Moving on, this is our hog snare. And with all the problems that they're having down in the south now, and not just the south, there's a lot of places the hogs are making their way. I've seen hog sign in Missouri, I've seen it in southern Illinois, but this is our hog snare. It's 1/8 cable, so it's going to be a really thick, heavy-duty, durable cable, which you definitely need when you're dealing with hogs. It's got the 1/8 mini cam. It's got a float deer stop. You can crimp that down anywhere you need. But once you get that set, that goes in, you know, if you're setting for smaller hogs or if you're setting for the bigger hogs, they hit that, it's going to cramp down, and you're going to have them there. It's got the poly collar, 1/8 large poly collar, and also an adjustable loop end. You can use that to attach to whatever you're attaching to. But these hog snares are heavy duty, and for all of you guys that are having issues with hogs, these are going to work for you. As I showed you and said before, they're all preloaded. They're just ready to go. However big a loop you want to do, they're ready to hang and fire. So if you're in the need for some hog snares, these are definitely something that will not only control the animal and keep them there till you get there to take care of them, but it's going to help you start to become the steward of your own land, taking some of these problem animals out of the equation as well. So this is the hog snare. We'll get these wrapped back up. But as you can see with this whole line, everything's preloaded, giving you that circle, giving you the quick fire, and all of them are gonna pretty much across the board, other than the easy sets, are gonna have a poly collar. They're gonna have a good 11 gauge or 9 gauge end swivel for attachment, and they're gonna be preloaded to fire and catch your critters when they come by.
Email us today for a free catalog to browse all of our traps and snares, baits and lures, and much more. Get all of your trapping and predation control needs by emailing to info@NorthAmericanTrapper.com for your free catalog. Proven products equals proven conservation.
This is our Raccoon snare or Beaver snare. It works for both. We make it the same way. The Raccoon snare and the Beaver snare are all made. They're 48 inches long. They're going to have a heavy duty 9 gauge end swivel. They're going to have a poly collar like everything else. And they have a thin lock, a slim lock, which is used for that. And then they're going to have a floating deer stop as well. But whether you're trapping for raccoon or beaver, this is the snare that you're going to want to use with a slim lock. Boom, they fire. They're just a fantastic device. If you're setting for beaver, you want to put that down, submerge that in the water about halfway to where you get them swimming across the top, but that'd be about where you want it. And for raccoon, you're going to be a little shorter, a little smaller hole, about 7-8 inches right there. That's perfect for a raccoon coming across, and it's going to fire down. It's just a very good snare. It's one of our more basic snares, but it's all you need. There's no need to make it harder than what it is. That's the one thing that we try and do. We don't do things that aren't necessary, and that helps you out in the field with less to do. But the Raccoon and Beaver snare is 48 inches long. You got the slim thin lock, and it's going to have the end swivel that's going to attach it, and you got a floating deer stop if you need that for your regulations. What we have here is, we'll save that one for next. This is actually the Fox snare. This is going to be 5/64 cable. It's going to actually have the same lock that was just on the Beaver and the Raccoon snare, but it's going to be 60 inches in length. The end swivel again with the poly collar, same lock, the thin slim lock, and your floating deer stop preloaded. They're going to fire good for you, but they're a fantastic snare. That is 5/64 cable. That's a little thinner because the Fox is not a an animal that's going to fight it as hard as a beaver or a raccoon. But that's the fox snare, and as you can see with every snare, they're all preloaded, give you that good loop, whether it's your fox, your beaver, your raccoon, your cable restraint, creates that good circle. You put the loop where the animal's run, and it's going to fire quicker for you. This is the Bobcat snare. This is going to be on 1/16 inch cable, which is a lot thinner, but it's a very strong cable in and of itself. And with the Bobcat snare, that is done with a low pro lock. And that's the low pro. It's got a floating deer stop, end swivel 11 gauge, poly collar, but same thing. You can see preloaded, perfect for a Bobcat right there. Maybe just a hair bigger, about right there. You're gonna put that, attach that, put the poly collar, put it on your snare support. That animal's coming through and fires right down on them. These are a great item. They could be used for fox as well. That thinner 1/16 cable would be fine for fox, but all in all, these are all geared up, ready to go for you Western guys that can actually catch some bobcats that have some value to them. These will work great for you in all those situations. And we're gonna finish here with our Coyote snare once I get these back in order. But the Coyote snare is gonna be a 3/32 inch cable. As I said, it's got a 3/32 inch cable. It's gonna have the 3/32 mini cam. It's gonna be on 84 inches of cable. And it's just a fantastic device that's going to work for you when you're out in the field. You'll see these are all, it doesn't matter which one I choose. Every time you open it up, when you get one of our snares, it's going to be preloaded and ready to go. That is ready to go. It's got a floating deer stop, but that mini cam, you could see literally, you know, if you had the poly collar, we'll imitate the poly collar being up here. So you have the poly collar right here, you got the snare support, you know, maybe you want your loop a little bigger, that's fine too. But you got its snare support right there, and that Coyote's coming through, and you can see how fast they fire. They are just a quick working piece of equipment, and it doesn't matter where it's at. Any pressure on there, boom, quick fire, and that's because preloaded into that circle. That's pretty much our line. That's the North American Trapper Dakota series. If anybody has any questions, if you have anything that you need, feel free to reach out to us. We do try and get back to everybody. It may take a couple days depending on where we're at. We might be out in the field, but we will get back to you and answer any questions that you have. But if you're in the market to where you need some good snares or cables, we've got you covered. One last thing that I will show you is our actual 10-foot beaver slides. I did run a special on all of our 5-foot fixed and 8-foot fixed 3/32 cable and 1/8 inch beaver slides last week or so, but these are our 10-foot beaver slides, and you'll see once I get them, you see it takes longer to untangle or unhook the 10-footers than it does the other ones, but once I get these out, you'll see how these work and how these are very efficient for beaver as well. With these, you can see I'm taking it up the cable. I'm not 10 feet tall, so it'll go a lot faster. But you can see, if you connect that to your trap, and this is at the top end of your cable, and that beaver gets caught on there, I'm not even putting any pressure, and you can see how fast that flies down the cable. These are just a fantastic system for beaver, but you can see there, boom, it's down there quick. And then once they do go down, if you have them down at the bottom and they pull, they cannot pull up on that lock. The teeth on that lock will not allow that to come back up, and that in and of itself is a fantastic system when it comes to Beaver. Just showing you that one more time. Adjustable loop end on both ends, 1 and 2. The lock, 3/32 aggressive lock with the teeth that we've also nutted off a piece of cable to attach your trap for easy and unfastening ease as well. So you can see I can't even keep the lock at the top. It just continues to just go right to the bottom. That's how fast they go down the lock. It's just a really good system. It's a system that can help you be more successful when you're out there chasing beaver. And as I said, if you wanted to see them in action, go back through our YouTube clips. One is going to be in the Adirondacks last fall, and then also out in Illinois, you'll see me catch a couple nice adult beaver in each area. But that's pretty much our cable products and snaring products. If you have any questions, as I said, feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to help you get started in any way that you need to. For you ranchers, farmers, homeowners that are looking to handle some of the issues that you have on your properties, whether it be livestock issues or damage to your buildings, anything of that nature, whether you're a hunter trying to save some of that deer feed from the raccoons that are coming in and basically probably eating more than the deer a lot of times. The one thing that you can do is get these Easy Coyote or Easy Raccoon. They're gonna help you. Homeowner, we got you covered with the Easy Rabbit, which will catch the squirrels, the rabbits, all the smaller varmints. But these are just a fantastic device, and as I showed you before, each one of them comes pre-assembled. You're just basically pulling the loop out, and then you're wrapping the wire around whatever to fasten it, and the animal is going to be there the next morning. And as always, preloaded for fast firing. But that's our product line. The brand is so much bigger than myself or anybody involved with what we're doing. It's the tradition of, it's that woodsmanship that these kids and even adults can learn just by being out there. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to get people involved, trying to get people to feel that. And every time you go out there with them, you're experiencing that outdoors through them. We're showing the simplicity of things, and we're trying to debunk a lot of those myths that maybe scares people away from doing it at times, thinking that, it's just too hard, there's too much into it. No, it's pretty easy, and we're going to show you how easy it is, and you're going to be able to go out and do it.
Get started trapping those problem animals and nest raiders today. Become the steward of your own land or lease. Visit NorthAmericanTrapper.com.